Sasquatch. He's described as a large ape-like creature that supposedly inhabits the forests of North America, standing between 6 and 9 feet tall and covered in a thick, dark hair. This elusive being has captured the imagination of people for centuries. The legend of Sasquatch isn't a modern invention. It has deep roots in the folklore and oral traditions of many of the First Nations people across North America. The term Sasquatch comes from the Halkolim word Sasquatch, used by Coast Salish people of the Pacific Northwest, and it roughly translates into wild man or hairy man. The Lakota people have stories of Chaitanka, or Big Elder Brother, a large hairy creature that lives in the forest. In Ojibwe traditions, the Rougarou, also spelled Ru-Garu, is a shape-shifting creature that sometimes takes the form of a large, hairy humanoid. The Hopi and Navajo people speak of the Mogollon monster, a large, ape-like creature that roams the Mogollon Rim of Arizona. In the Pacific Northwest, various tribes have stories of skookum, which can refer to any number of forest spirits or creatures, including the Sasquatch-like beings. These stories have been passed down for generations, long before European settlers arrived in North America. The consistency of these accounts across different cultures and regions has intrigued researchers and enthusiasts alike. Early written documents and accounts of Sasquatch-like creatures also exist. In 1811, trader David Thompson reported finding large footprints near what is now Jasper, describing them as 4 times the size of human feet. In 1884, the British colonist newspaper in Victoria, British Columbia, reported the capture of a gorilla-like creature, later dubbed Jacko. Though likely a hoax, this story contributed to the growing Sasquatch legend. In 1924, a prospector named Albert Ostman claimed to have been abducted by a Sasquatch in British Columbia, a story he didn't publicly share until 1957. While there have been countless alleged Sasquatch sightings, several stand out due to their impact on Bigfoot lore or evidence they purportedly produced. In 1924, the Ape Canyon incident in Washington state, a group of miners led by Fred Beck claimed they were attacked by multiple ape men who threw rocks at their cabin and even this event sparked significant public interest and is one of the earliest widely reported Sasquatch encounters.
The Wrath of Ape Canyon. Located in the Pacific Northwest, Ape Canyon rests at the foot of Mount St. Helens in Washington State, USA. In the summer of 1924, deep in the wilderness near Mount St. Helens, a group of miners sought their fortune in the rugged terrain. Among them was Fred Beck, a seasoned prospector with a weathered face and a steely resolve. His companions, equally determined but with a hint of trepidation in their eyes, followed him into the unknown. As they made their way to the cabin, they stumbled upon a startling discovery. Huge footprints etched into the soft earth along the Lewis River, stretched out before them like ominous markers. The miners exchanged nervous glances, their footsteps quickening as they pressed on towards their destination, the weight of unease settling heavy on their shoulders. Each step felt like a journey into the unknown, with every rustle of leaves or snap of a twig sending shivers down their spines. That's when they spotted it. A massive figure towering against the backdrop of the dense forest stood motionless by a tree, its form obscured by the shadows of the towering pines. Without hesitation, one of the miners raised his rifle and took a shot. The crack of the gunshot shattered the silence of the woods, reverberating through the trees like a warning bell. But the shot missed its mark, sending bark flying from the tree and angering the creature. In an instant, The peaceful afternoon turned to chaos as the creatures, enraged by the attack, descended upon the cabin with a fury that defied comprehension. Through the gaps in the log cabin walls, illuminated by the soft glow of the moon, they caught glimpses of their assailants. Large, shadowy figures lurked among the trees, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light that sent shivers down the miners' spines. Fear gripped their hearts as they realized the true nature of the threat they faced. In a desperate bid to defend themselves, the miners fired back, their rifles blazing in the darkness as they tried to hold off the relentless onslaught. But the creatures were relentless, their primal cries echoing through the night as they hurled rocks at the cabin with uncanny accuracy, testing the resolve of the miners with each blow. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, the creatures vanished into the wilderness, leaving the miners shaken but alive. But the terror of that night would stay with them forever, etched into their memories like scars upon their souls. They knew that they had come face to face with something beyond their understanding, something ancient and primal that lurked in the shadows of the forest. For years afterward, the miners lived in fear of another encounter, haunted by the knowledge that the creatures still roamed the wilderness, lurking just beyond the edge of civilization. Their experience became a cautionary tale, whispered around campfires and shared in hushed tones, a reminder of the dangers that lay hidden in the depths of...
So, if you were going through the woods and you happen to encounter one of these, what would be your first reaction? Personally, mine would probably be absolute, unequivocal fear. But would you shoot at it? I wouldn't shoot at it. This thing operates on intellect. So if it's operating on intellect, it's just as smart as you are, and it's not going to run. If it wants to, it will stand its ground. It's bigger than you are, and yeah. So, keep watching, because I've got some more clips of the real thing, or in my estimation, the real thing. So, keep watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. And you will be notified when I put a new video up. This one's taken a little bit longer than normal because life happens, right? Okay, so on with it. Here we go.
In late October 2020, the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch organization received this footage from Logan Canyon, Utah. As per the witness, he and his son were driving through a popular rifle hunting area when they spotted a dark figure walking along a creek bed while he assumed this was a hunter. He couldn't explain why they were wearing all brown during an active rifle hunt, especially given that it's illegal to not wear a certain amount of orange. Nevertheless, the witness didn't stop to investigate since he was due to attend a meeting. Still curious, however, he and his son revisited the scene a few days later. Concurring to this, the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch team arrived unannounced. Together, they attempted to gauge the size of the subject using a 6'8" tall 200 pounds man as a reference point. They estimated that the figure was 728 feet tall and twice as wide. The self-described Bigfoot hunter Robert Dodson was either adored or despised for his unconventional research methods. Rather than search for the Sasquatch, he attempted to lure them to him via bait traps. On September 16, 2014, Dodson left a mix of fruit and meat to his Oklahoma research area around 9:30 p.m. that night. The researcher was panning across the trees when he noticed a pair of glowing eyes by the bear.
You know, that's a light, whatever the hell it is. We'll see it lower.
Following this extended game of hide-and-seek, Dodson charges the subject against his better judgment.
Damn, I wish I'd put the battery in that damn, thing, shit. Don't do this at home. Whatever you do. It's right over here. Don't ever do this. It's right off behind all this. Turn around. Let the camera see it.
Concerned about further aggressive behavior, Godson eventually left the area. When he later returned, he placed a marker at the ice-high pine, while some skeptics had argued that they belonged to a DEA. Dodson calculated that they stood around 8 feet. The night before Halloween, 2013 brothers John and Joel Brown were sitting outside their rural Washington property when they heard a light tapping directly behind them. By now, this type of strange activity had been going on for over a year. Believing it could be Sasquatch-related, the brothers had borrowed a F-male camera from researchers at the Olympic Society as such. They were ready with the camera when they heard the series of knocks. Immediately, John began scanning the field and manned the bellowing herd of cows from the F next door. He noticed the distinct heat signature. Unsure how to record, John handed the camera over to Joel by the time he started recording. However, the figure had already changed position now. Approximately 120 feet away, its upper half was peeking over a ridge. Using a scale pole, researchers determined that the subject was at least 7 foot tall and 4 feet wide. Despite suggestions that the figure was a cow's ears are clearly noticeable, and thermal camera. Even after all the great work by researchers, it's feasible that some of the greatest Sasquatch footage was captured by a random married couple on August 8, 2013. Bill and Wendy of Gulf Island Rock were driving back from Port Arthur through Canada when she suggested they stop for a short hike 200 FT into the forest. They noticed a large hairy figure around 100 FT in the distance on first observing the animal. Bill assumed it was a bear foraging for food, yet it appeared to have a chicle head. Whatever it was, however, the couple left as soon as it did. For nearly 3 decades of his life, timber giant Bigfoot has been searching for the elusive creature out of the thousands of minutes he's recorded. In that time, just over 5 might depict some of the clearest evidence ever captured on September 15th, 2013. Timber giant was exploring the southern Ontario woods when he heard the recurrent sound of stone knocking. Tracking the source of the noise, he saw a red-colored creature about 108 feet away.
Holy shit. Where's the... Oh, come on. It's right there. I have my glasses on. Look at that. Holy. That's what's making it. Oh crap, I lost it. There we go. I'm pretty sure that was the thing that was making the noise. I'm seeing it now. I think that's it. Oh, crap is everywhere. Oh, look at that. What the hell am I looking at? I'm trying to... looking down there and I don't see it at all with my eye, but I can kind of see it on the screen. It's gone now. There it is. Holy. I'm guessing it's probably... it's probably like, I don't know, 150 feet away. I'm right on the tree. I can't go behind trees, I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Shit. Look at that. I can see it. It looks really dark in that. When I'm looking at it, it looks quite red on the camera. Wait a minute. Where is it? Oh, look at this. Holy.
Bigfoot, dude.
So this footage comes from just outside of Banff National Park. As you can see, it's wintertime, and the creature has his back to the camera, and they stay very, very still. Most often turning their backs to you so that you can't see facial features, which would make it working on intellect, correct? So it would just stand there, barely even moving. What do you think? Real? I think so. I'm convinced. Makes no noise, doesn't shuffle, doesn't weave back and forth, doesn't do anything like that. Just stands as still as it can to avoid detection. Till the threat is gone. But you can definitely see the back end of it. You can see a lot of dark fur blending right in with the natural environment that it's in. Let's see what else we can find. All right. So there you have Paranormal's view of Sasquatch. And there are some clips that are quite convincing. I have searched through the internet to find the best ones that actually do show what I consider to be a real Sasquatch. To quote somebody, we are the kings of our technology. They are the masters of the wilderness. If they are indeed working off intellect, then yeah, and they feel that we are dangerous as a species, they are not going to let us see them, unless of course they want to. If they want to let you see them, then you'll see them. They travel in threes, and they are everywhere, except Antarctica and the Arctic. They're in Russia, they are in China, Japan, they are everywhere. They're even in England, United Kingdom. But that's only my opinion. And I believe they are an undiscovered flesh and blood species that has yet to be classified. But as always on this channel, I leave that up to you. Your opinion is yours. Leave a like and comment downstairs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notifications. And we'll see you soon.